Okay, so let's just have a quick look on today's lab and see if we can make a rather simple compact camera or not. Okay, so first by pressing space and releasing it quickly like this, you can see all the views. Or alternatively, if you press space, right click, you will see the views and then you can switch between them. Yeah, but either way, I just want to go to the front view. Then I will go to view, import the image plane and then import image, and just give me a second to find where is that. So yeah, you can just save your model wherever you want, but it's encouraged to uh, save it in your project, as you can then share it a lot easier. um, okay, so just browse my model in, send my image in. You can uh, yeah, again, put it in the source images folder of your scene. Okay, so as you may have seen in the labs, I'm going to start with a simple cube. Oh, sorry, that was a mistake. So I'm going to go for the poly modeling and bring in a cube. Let's see, yeah, cube is here now. Perfect. And then I'm going to move it relatively to the center of the camera lens, and going to scale it up so that it covers the whole area around the lens. By pressing 4 and 5, we can switch between the wireframe, or we can call it transparent and shaded mode. So 5 is the shaded mode, which you see the object. 4 makes it transparent, so then you can see through it. And if I make the number of subdivisions here in the channel box either on width and height to 2, I will see this center point. The other way is if you don't want to use this, or you want to like use the same method while you are doing the modeling, if you go for multi-cut, hold control, you will be able to add the vertices or the set of edges. Yeah, so you see that's how it works. And then now I'm going to use the multi-cut. Actually, there are some other ways, like you can bevel this center point, but yeah, I'm going to hold shift. When you hold shift in the multi-cut and move the camera, like so move the mouse over each edge, you will see the center point, and the snap points will show you how many other points you can see. Like 10% means we have 100 divided by 10 lines here. And when you drag your mouse by holding the left mouse key, you will see these uh, black dots. Okay, so I've connected the points. You can make them like closer, or like you move them closer or further by scaling them down or scaling them up. Okay, something like that. Perfect. I'm going to do the multi-cut once again here. Yeah, maybe it's better to go for. You can also use your like vision to manually put the points. That's okay. Yeah, we can move them a bit again further or closer. That's up to you. And then what I'm going to do is to again use the multi-cut tool to connect an edge from the corners to the center of these uh, middle lines. And the reason that we do, I'm going to show you, this is let's see, this is actually a triangle. This is actually a face with 5 vertices, or a pentagon. So what I have to do is I want to like divide these face with 5 vertices into two faces with 4 vertices, and make this triangle into a quad. And that's also going to be useful for creating a rather simple uh, circle here. Okay, so then I will choose these points. By holding shift you can select some points. By holding control you can deselect or unselect. Okay, and then I'm going to move them away. You can again use your judgment, but yeah, because that gets a bit thicker when you do so, you can bring them a little bit backward like this. Perfect. Let's see the model now. And like for example, if you go for the multi-cut tool, you see like it seems that everything is a quadrangle. There are no problems with that. Yeah, to me it seems that everything is working fine, but for some reason one of the points seems to be a bit off. Let's see. Like it seems that I have 2 points somewhere because the multi-cut tool, that's also a really good thing to check here, doesn't work properly. So I need to make, I think that's the problem here. Yeah, you see sometimes that happens. So if that's the case, you need to select these edges and just get rid of the vertex as well. You have to press Ctrl and delete. Now we don't have that vertex anymore, but I have to connect this corner to here. Yeah, that happens sometimes because when you are using these multi-cut tool, that may not connect it properly to the vertex you want, and like that may create a vertex near it. Now let's check. Yeah, you see it now understands the whole flow here. Okay, so for the lens I'm going to select these 8 faces around that make a simple uh, circle for us. So you first select one of them and hold shift, double click on one of the next faces or adjacent faces to that face that you have created previously. And for extrusion we have seen it many times, but you can either use this button in the in the modeling toolkit, or you can use like hold shift to do it faster, like a shortcut. Yeah, that's going to be good, but I'm going to also add some um, edges to sharpen the edges on my model, something like that. We can also add here. If you want, you can also add here as well. I think that's enough. Okay, and then if you look from the front, you see we have a small area from on the like top and the bottom that we have not covered with this model. Yeah, so I'm going to do it in a second, but let's see what happens if we go to the smooth mode. You see, since these edges on the top and bottom, like on the area or the border area, are not sharpened, when you go to the smooth mode, the whole camera structure is getting smooth, which is not what we want. So to fix it, I'm going to uh, add another set of edges, either here on the bottom or on the top. So we are lucky that we have an area to cover with this extrusion, so I'm going to do it now. One here, and this is a trick that I use to select the bottom faces faster. You can either like move the camera, hold shift and select these two, or you can go here, like when you're in the front view, you can select all the faces on the bottom, and by holding control you can unselect the ones that you don't want. So at the end you will have the vertices that you had the intention, sorry, the faces that you had the intention to select. And then I'm going to extrude that as well a bit. Yeah, that seems good to me. Then now when you do the smoothing, you'll see that you have sharper edges. That's what we wanted to see from our camera. Okay, and now I'm going to make these 2 brownish areas, but you need to see here the space between the lens and this brown area, and again the lens and this brown area is very small. So what I can do here, which is also a good thing to do for keeping a rather like similar structure to the circle in between, is that I will try to move these vertices a bit closer to each other along the x-axis, and with that I will be able to find some area here to make the objects that I intended to, like here for example. Perfect. So why does this scaling work? It is because, you know, there's some distance between the vertices along the x-axis, and when you scale them down they will get closer. So that's one thing I wanted to say. And now we again need to do some uh, extrusion to bring the uh, edges here on the border of here, and I need those edges since I'm going to do some extrusion. So yeah, I have to add some details, and I will do it in this way. I will go to the move tool, hold shift, doing an extrusion like that for example, and then I'm going to go for selecting vertices and moving them to put the lines again on this area that you want to do the extrusion with that, and then going to the face mode, doing an extrusion. And you see here the problem, let me just go to the opaque mode, is that the line, these lines are like actually following the border line, and that's not a straight or vertical line. To fix that, like the easiest solution is again to use the scale and scale them down along the x-axis. And the reason that works is, again, there are some distances along the x-axis between the vertices, and by doing that we will bring them closer on that dimension. Okay, so now I have my structure here on the right. Sorry, I'm going to do the same here on the left side of my model, selecting these faces, holding shift and extrude them. Yeah, for the extrusion you always make sure that you don't do it twice. Sometimes that happens, like you may make a mistake and do an extrusion but don't move the either like faces or edges, and that would like put two set of identical, let's say, vertices on top of each other, which then you cannot use the tools properly. So make sure that you at least undo if you like press shift or do the extrusion and you are not sure if you have done the extrusion correctly, because believe me, that would save a lot of your time. And I'm going to do the same on the left side as well, doing one extrusion here to match it with the border line, and one extrusion and another scale down along the x-axis to make it a straight line here. Okay, so now we have the, you can see the overall structure of our camera, and I'm going to try and do this extrusion, sorry, do like make a simple area here and use it uh, for like the next extrusions. Okay, so I'm going to use a multi-cut tool, and you see if I press Control again, it will let me to uh, add a set of vertices. So I'm going to hold Control and press the left mouse button. The same here as well. Perfect. And then let's see, how can I fix this? Yeah, I'm going to go like a bit different, just a bit different from what we did in the lab. So I'm going to again select these. I want to select this edge until that edge, like, and then delete actually this one until that one, like you see the flow here, and delete the whole edges and vertices with each other. And the reason is, if you go to the smooth mode, you'll see my circle is now ruined. So I want to bring it back, and the reason that's happening is we have some unintended vertices added here, also there in the bottom. So again, I'm going to double click on this edge. That would mean like Maya would select these edges for me, and then I will hold Control to deselect the ones that I want to keep, and I'm going to deselect the ones on the back. Okay, so if you again hold Control and delete, would remove the vertices and edges with together. Sorry again. So that's what I'm going to do here, as you saw. And now I'm going to let's see, just give me a second. Yep, draw a line here to there, perfect. And then I'm going to remove this edge, that one, and the only thing is I have to remove these two. Yeah, I haven't done removing the edges on the bottom, so let's just do it. Double clicking there, then keeping these uh, edges we want, like we want these still. Selecting the ones on the back, then Control Delete. Perfect. Do we have any vertex? No. So now you can see with a very simple multicut tool, I can connect these two together and these two together. So with that, you will see everything becomes a quadrangle. And again, you can verify it with some tools like the multicut tool. You will see it will understand at least one flow around your model. So yeah, uh, that's this part. Let's just do it again on the other part. Again, we hold shift to select those snap points, something like that. Press enter, and like when you want to see all the snap points, you have to click the left mouse button and drag it over that edge. Again, you're selecting these edges and pressing Ctrl D. Oh, actually no, because that will also remove that vertex. You just delete them and manually delete these two uh, vertices. Now with the multicut tool, I'm going to connect these two together and these two there. Just want to show you something. You can just give me a second. Is that two set of faces? Just give me 1 second. Maybe it's a small problem here. Yeah, you see that happens sometimes. So it is good to like make sure that, let's see what is happening here. Yeah, this is actually a unwanted edge here, so I'm going to delete that. Yeah, sometimes that happens, like when you do some extrusions or use this multicut tool. Sometimes you will see some like unintended uh, vertices or edges. Let me see if that is fixed now. So you sometimes again, if that happens, you have to go and fix it. Yeah. So what is happening here? You see, this one has like is connected to another edge. So I'm going to select this edge, press Ctrl and D to delete that one as well. Yeah, going to select these edges, Ctrl D to delete them. Yeah, it seems that should be fixed now. Just delete this one as well. I think now it should be fine. So yeah, again, if that happens, you have to go through your model and try to fix it. Now what happens if I move this vertex? Let's see. You see that's only one. What about this one? Yeah, it's okay. Perfect. So yeah, again, I think that happened because I used the multicut tool but didn't pay complete attention to where I am connecting the vertices. Yeah, but you see again, everything is a quadrangle here, which is really good. And now it is the time to go and do an extrusion here. One more thing is, you can see here, I can easily go and add another set of edges if I want to have a sharp edge for my camera there, like on the top of the bevel area, but I'm going to go for a smoother version. So I'm going to select these two faces, extrude them outward, and then select these four faces and extrude them toward the right. And when I go to the smooth mode, you will see a very perfect area around there. And that shows that we have a rather good topology here. Again, like if you want to make it sharper, you can add some edges here. Like if you want to make the camera edges sharper there as well, that's the same. Yeah, so you see it's a very good smooth model here. Um, so what else did I want to cover here? Actually, you see here, you could move these vertices a bit further to keep the distance between them, like a bit to the left, something like that. Yeah, but overall that's it. Uh, so I would encourage you to go for the left part and do the same here. You can also add more vertices if you want. But yeah, that's essentially it for this lab. Thanks everyone, and like I'm waiting to see your submissions and your models. And again, you can go for modeling the same like object here as this Canon G9X, if I remember correctly. You can just search for it and find an image that is like created from its front view. Yeah, and for like submission, go to view, shading, and then wireframe unshaded. That will show the wireframe on your model. That would be enough for this week's submission. Okay, so thanks again, and see you on the next week.